In this video, we examine Dr. Samuel Burr's notes on why historians have spent centuries attempting to discredit Aaron Burr. Samuel Burr begins chapter 1 of his lecture notes by reminding us that the true story of the life and times of Aaron Burr is a colorful though tragic thread woven into the fabric of American history. Unfortunately, however, it's become increasingly difficult for most Americans either to discern this thread or to understand it and appreciate it because of historical obstructionism. Dr. Burr is bothered by the changing nature of the definition of history. He lays out the 6 definitions of history and its need to act as an unbiased recorder of events and experiences. He lays his concern at the feet of fellow historians who've taken liberties to employ opinion-based writing over research and the presentation of facts. History has become, in his word, blueprints for the sowing of misinformation in the impressionable minds of young students and confusion in the minds of non-academic or public sector adults of American society. He goes on to quote research by Edwin Fenton and Walter Nugent, in which they both argue that objectivity in writing history is almost impossible, and truthfulness cannot be assured. Fenton, for instance, says, "History cannot be a complete record of what happened. At best, it can be a record of only those events that we recorded in a form that came down to us, an interpretation." Burr regrets that history is no longer an accurate account of who and why or cause and effect, but rather a way for historians to reconstruct the past as they want it to have been, rather than as it was. Burr complained about historians who omit information, fabricate, interpret based on bias, report ideas out of context, historians who use half-truths, innuendo, and then downplay certain ideas while overplaying others, even within 2 books on the same subject on the same shelf. He complained about historians who've dedicated themselves to one viewpoint, either liberalism or conservatism, Jeffersonians or Hamiltons. Professor Burr reminds us that there are no standards or licensing for being a historian, like ministers or teachers, doctors, real estate brokers, or even car drivers. All you have to do is proclaim yourself to be a historian, and it is so. He calls many historians just propagandists and others conformists who borrow from historians who came before them without actually engaging in serious research. They hunt for that which has already been decided on. This is what happened to the story of Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr's story has been distorted and presented out of context. The lecture notes remember a historian who was asked about his treatment of Aaron Burr in his textbooks and how many primary sources he consulted before arriving at his conclusions. The historian admitted to never actually having seen any, believing Aaron Burr history was settled and that he just copied from others. The primary sources that others do use come from Burr's contemporary enemies who labeled him a scoundrel, continuing the Burr as evil myth.